Gypsy, gypsy chick, gypsy chick.
Hey YouTube, it's Gypsy. Well, I'm finally getting around to posting my deck challenge that I did for the week of Halloween. It took me a little while. Excuse me, I got deathly ill last week. Deathly ill. And the last thing I really felt like doing was uploading a video. I'm also coming to you tonight looking a bit ratchet because, frankly, when I'm still like cleaned up and decent looking, I don't have time to make videos. This afternoon I came home and worked out and cooked dinner, which was an epic fail, and anyway, it just didn't happen. So, enough excuses, let's get into the deck challenge, right? Alright. So, the deck that I did this week, the Tarot of Vampyres deck that I ordered thanks to the beautiful and wonderful OwlMoon 513. I bought this deck because she's constantly talking about how fabulous it is. And what got my attention was not so much the actual artwork of the cards, but it had to do with the book. She raved about the book. And I honestly have to say, without, going in and doing my own deck review of this whole thing, I'm going to agree with OwlMoon. This freaking book is 100% awesome as far as a great reference for tarot and card meanings. Sorry, I had a beer. I actually marked it, as is my way. If you can see here where I have the pages colored, I went through and just took a pen, and the black here, those are the major arcana cards. And then I did red, it was fire, blue was cups. That didn't make any sense what I just said. Red is wands, or scepters in this case. Blue is the cups, or grails in the case of this deck. I left a space blank because I only had so many colors. So the blank space right there, that is knives, or also known as swords. And then finally was skulls, aka pentacles. So I kind of color-coded them after their elements, I guess you could say. The red for the fire, wands, blue for cups, green for pentacles. And I know this would normally be, I like to use, orange or yellow for the knives, but I didn't have that option, so I just left it blank. Anyway, this beginning is just talking about tarot and all of the different things that you can do with this deck. It goes into great depth about, different, you basically can build a profile using your star signs, and anyway, on and on. I may do my own review of this deck at some point. I don't like to get into too much of a review on these deck challenges. The point is I want to talk to you about what I got from the deck and my introduction to this deck. In the past, I've done videos, or I've done deck challenges on decks that I've struggled with, or that I just haven't really felt real connected to for whatever reason. In this case, I had just gotten it, but since it was Halloween week, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and do it anyway, because frankly, I'll be honest, it has beautiful artwork, but it's not the kind of artwork that pulls me in. I do appreciate it. I like it a lot. I don't know how to. It's really dark, and that's not really what's turning me off. It's not the darkness of it. I kind of like that aspect of it. I guess I'm not a huge vampire person, which seems odd given the fact that I think I dress in black and red almost every day. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's just I'm not a big vampire person. The cards themselves, let's see. Hold on just a second. Kind of meant to grab these earlier. The cards themselves are really pretty. They're a great size, I'm doing this review thing. I don't want to do this. I'll just show you one card. Here's an example of the sun. Okay, it's like it's a sun card. You've got the sun and everything, but you've still got the skulls, and you've got, darkness. It's got its dark, look to it. But, it's a cool deck. I'm not going to lie to you. OwlMoon 513 actually has a video on this deck. She does a review of it, so if you want to go check it out, you're welcome to go check it out. I'll probably do a full-on deck review of it at some point, not today. So let me go into the deck challenge. Let me get out my handy-dandy deck journal here. I mean, yeah, it's a deck journal. It's also a tarot journal. My deck challenge is in the tarot journal. Let me find it. Tarot Vampyres. Ready. So, I did the, as is per usual. You can see here I did the Getting to Know You spread. So, these are my notes on that. It is a 6-card spread. 6-card spread, and I think I've discussed this in my other deck challenge videos. What stuck out? One thing that stuck out was I asked, one of the questions is, what are your strengths? And this one says the Tower came up for that, which, you know, I interpreted that. I said, I like the words, I like the first words I saw combined with the image on the card. In the book, in Phantasmagoria, it mentions destruction of old structures. And there's a horseman charging forward as a distant tower struck by lightning, which is pretty typical of the tower. You have the tower being struck by lightning. But in this one, you know, you have the horseman. There's no one falling from the tower. The horseman is actually kind of charging forward in the card. And I'm not digging through the deck right now to find it. Just to take my word for it. If you want to Google Tarot Vampyres, the Tower card. Somebody's taken a picture of it, and you can look it up. It says change can be a challenge, and this deck awakens the fighter spirit that faces challenges. I took that, you know, that rider as to, you know, basically, it's not like he was scared by it. He doesn't look scared. He looks fierce. He looks like, oh, okay, well, I guess we're done with this tower. Time to storm another one. So I kind of liked that. I said, you know, he faces challenges head on. It's not the helplessly falling one, you know, the falling character that you normally see in a lot of tarot decks for the Tower card. So I kind of like that. I thought that was really cool. I like the fact that I asked what its limitations are, and it comes up with the Fortune card. And I read into that, my feeling that I got was that I got a message of coping with changes in life, but not avoiding them. Kind of similar to what the Strength said, but a little bit different. It's basically saying also that this deck cannot change the course of things. It's not going to tell you what you need to know. The power to change things is in your hands. You have control over your fortune. This deck does not. So just because it says, you know, if you do a spread that has a certain outcome card, and this outcome is maybe something that's not the most positive outcome, it's up to you to change it. The deck, you know, you can't just keep throwing cards out over and over again and expect it to tell you something good. You have to take that knowledge into your own hands, and you're ultimately responsible for your own fortune, not the deck. The deck does not dictate. The deck simply awakens your awareness. So I thought that was kind of cool. Let's see. Enough about that. Tuesday, I did a single card draw, and I drew Temperance, which is one of my... Strength is my favorite tarot card, hands down. Temperance is up there near the top of my list of things that I like, because it represents balance, and I'm a big balance person. I'm all about balance. So, you know, I did really like that a lot. That was one thing. My initial observations had to do with, like, mental weightlessness, duality, symmetry, balance, everything. I mean, all the words that were coming to my head had to do with, you know, this, you know, maintaining this balance. And, you know, again, that's just one of the things that I love about the Temperance card. And I definitely picked up on that in this deck's version of the Temperance card. Let's see. Wednesday is my past, present, future day. That's where I do my little 3-card spread. I actually drew Daughter of Knives, Queen of Knives, and then Judgment. So obviously my first observation was it's swordy, which means it's going to be like serious, and it's going to have to do with something serious. Knives are like the shadow suit for me. That may not be that way for everybody. When I see knives in my own readings, I interpret that as being something shadowy. Them swords are some shady cards, okay? And for a wand person such as myself, the swords always make me like, ooh, what did I do? What did I do? And so, or what do I need to do? This sounds thinkish. I don't want to think. So I'm a doer. I don't like thinking. I just like doing stuff. So, anyway, I thought that was really very interesting. I have a whole write-up for that, but I'm not going to go into it because that was a little bit more personal. So, it was a good reading though. It was good. It was good for me. It was good for me. And it didn't scare me at all. It was actually very affirming, and it came out to be a very positive reading, so that was pretty fabulous. Book of Shadows is the spread that I chose out of the guidebook. Now, Thursdays are always my guidebook spread days, so I always pick, just about every guidebook or little white book has some sort of, spread examples that they give you. And, let's see here. Anyway, whatever. I got it out of here, and it's a Book of Shadows spread, and it's a 6-card spread. You do 3 on top and 3 on bottom, and your top 3 cards, 1, 2, 3, are your light cards, things that are on the light side, things that are going well, good cards. And then 4, 5, and 6 are your shadow cards. So you have light up top. Oh, I keep yawning. You have light up top and you have shadow on the bottom. I really like this spread, and I think I'm probably going to incorporate this as one of the ones that I use regularly because I just really like the way it laid out. I'm a kind of wishy-washy. When I first started studying tarot, I gave a lot more weight to reversed cards than I do now, I think. I'm more about position and feeling now. I don't if it's upside down, I don't just immediately go, oh, well, this means the opposite of what it normally means. No, I'm sorry. For anybody that does do that still, no disrespect. That doesn't work for me. I have found that there have been times when my gut was telling me something else, and I went with what I just, basically what I saw and not what I felt, and, I missed the mark. So I've gotten to where I have learned that really for me it depends on the position and it depends on how I feel. Sometimes cards are just upside down. Boom. So I consider the light and dark side of every card in every reading that I do. It has nothing to do with whether or not it's upside down. So do I read reversals? Not because they're reversed. I read them if they need to be read that way. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, good. Yes, so the Book of Shadows spread was quite nice. Now, on Friday, I normally do a blind card. I just do a blind pull, which means I don't have a spread that I use. It's not a structure. I just kind of lay it out and I draw 2 or 3, sometimes 4, just depending on. I keep yawning. Just depending on, how I'm feeling. I pull till it feels. Pull till it feels right. That doesn't even sound right, but you know what I'm saying. But for this one, I wanted to utilize this instruction that it had in the book, and it actually, there's a section here in the front where it talks about building your vampire profile. The portrait is what it's called, and it's here on page 52 of the guidebook. And it has where you basically, you can think of your own name. I have kind of a magical name that I use that's just for me. So, I mean, I wrote it down as my vampire name, I guess, but it's not, it's much more than that. I use it in many contexts. So, I didn't feel the need to make up another name just for this. I just kind of use the same one. You also have a dynasty card, a vampire clan, a bloodline card, and a vampire court. And these cards are based on your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign. It all just depends on when you were born, and I think like what time zone you were born. It completely maps out exactly your cosmic space as far as your birth time, your birth information, your birth data. So, you know, I will tell you my Dynasty card was Temperance, which was funny because I love Temperance, and I drew that card just the other day. The Vampire Clan, I have the Scepter. Bloodline card is the Eight of Scepters. And the Vampire Court is the Lord of Scepters. So I would say that's pretty accurate because all of you that know me know that I'm a fire, 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 fire. So that was kind of cool. You know, and of course I know the meanings of those cards, and they're very appropriate for me. So that was kind of cool. That was a fun exercise. So that's what I did for the last day of the week. I did the Phantasmagoria portrait. As per they have charts and all that kind of good stuff in here, so you can kind of look yourself up and see where you fit on the grand scheme. Oh, it's late and I'm tired, and I'm sorry that I keep yawning on video, but I'm not editing out all these yawns because otherwise this video will never get posted, ever, never, never. Deck challenge was fun. I really liked this deck. I'm glad that I got to work with it. OwlMoon, thank you so much for raving about it constantly and making me nuts so that I just went and freaking bought the damn deck because, you know, I need another deck because I only have, like, tons of them. So, you know, yeah. And thanks to your recent videos, I'm going to be buying more. No, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's alright. But anyway, that's my deck challenge. That's my weekly deck challenge kind of overview for the Phantasmagoria. Phantasmagoria. For the Tarot of Vampires. By the way, this is by Ian Daniels, and here's the box right here. Again, very cool book that comes with it. You know, I have to agree, man. Even if you're not crazy about the dark artwork, if it's not a deck that you really feel comfortable using all the time, if you only use it on Halloween, that's fine. The book you will use all year long. This is just an incredible book. And even, I mean, just this first section was worth the book. I mean, it had so much good information and a great way of looking at the tarot as a divinatory tool. I really liked it. It's very awesome. Ian Daniels did a hell of a job on this one. So, thank you, Mr. Daniels. You the boss. That's all I have for my weekly deck challenge for the Tarot Vampires, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and sorry for the ratchet mess. If I waited until I had on makeup and looked pretty, we'd never get this video done. So, you guys have a great day, and blessed be.